what are your top 3 favorite limited print companies, for games?
So let's see here. I would probably have to go with okay, so number one would be Pixel Heart. All right, so
It's hard for real.
sure.
Okay.
Because they cater to like my nostalgia, right? Everybody knows I'm a huge Neo Geo fan. I mean, I love my Neo Geo. I still collect heavily the AES. And they also do Neo Geo CD, and they also do Dreamcast too, which I love. And they're bringing like newer games to the Dreamcast that have never been on there. Like Breaker's Revenge is one they did for Geo, which I thought was really awesome. So going to their website, you see like a huge selection of games across all generations of consoles, which I really appreciate. When you do a limited run game, I always want it to be something that either never got a physical release or is getting a physical release that they made better. And they do a very good job at doing that with Pixel Heart. Also, I would have to say I love Steel Reserve. Or is it special? No, Special Reserve. I always say
Special Reserve.
That's a beer, ain't it? That's like a beer or something, man. But Special Reserve, I have an affinity towards them because one of my favorite games of all time is The Messenger. The Messenger is iconic. If you're a Ninja Gaiden fan, man, The Messenger is a must play. Right. And they were the only one that did the physical run of that. And it's super hard to find that game, from them, so that would probably be, not even probably, that is my second one. So definitely, if you love Ninja Gaiden, play The Messenger. Yeah. They homage out there to Ninja Gaiden all throughout that game, dude. It's so funny, so amazing, and they really did a good job. And then, what would be my last one? Oh, you know what? What is it? I have one of their games over here.
Somebody I never heard of?
No, it's Merge Games, but it's
Signature Edition?
Signature Edition games. Listen, wow. I got the Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
I got the Turtles. I got the what's the other one over here? The God, I can't even remember because it's not even near me. But I got like 6 games from them, and Signature Games is awesome because it always comes in a big box, so you always have a nice big box to put on your shelf. Soundtrack is always in there. A coin of some sort is in there. A pen, great art cards and stuff. So they do a very good job on their special editions. So those would be the 3 for me for sure, without a doubt. Now there are others, but since we're relegating it to 3.
Well, we're just doing 3. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this video will take forever. We go because we go through a lot of them, I would think.
Oh yeah.
So with my favorite 3, golly, I gotta say my favorite is probably Pix and Love. Man, Pix and Love really just impressed me with what they put out. Man, I was like, wow, dude. Like I fell in love. Like I remember, so they had the King of Fighters 2002 Deluxe Edition. King of Fighters 2002 Dream Match. Probably one of my favorite fighting games of all time because it's a dream match, a dream come true. I mean, every character is in that game. Every boss is in that game. It's just people have no idea. It's like a what if scenario, which is great. And Pix and Love put up their collector's edition for it. It came in a Neo Geo snap box. It came with of course the game, soundtrack, had an art book, and it had this acrylic poster that came with it that just blew my mind. I said, I must have this. I have to get it. And when that thing came in the mail, man, I almost fell out, man, because I was just so happy to have that. I mean, that was just something that just really impressed me. So I feel like they really, like, they don't put out much stuff all the time. Like they don't, like a lot of these other companies do. Like, they're very selective, and when they get it, it's not really what am I trying to say here? It's not really.
I mean, and they're not like other games. I mean, to kind of make it.
No, it's just that they're not like the type of company that sells out super fast. You know, everybody has an opportunity to get these items. You know, I mean, now some of them are expensive, but they're well worth it, I would say. And that's one thing I really like about them. I mean, they put a lot of love in their stuff. And going on their page, you could tell they're very selective of what they want to put out as physical. You know, they're not just putting out anything as a physical. Because, you know, some companies are starting to do that, and it's like, oh man, like why is this on a physical format? This does not deserve to be a physical game. So that's what I really love about them, man, is that they're very selective on what they sell to the people. It's very impressive. And then my second one would be, man, it's always changing, but I really feel, man, this is a tough one, but I'm gonna say I like Red Art Games. I really do. Red Art Games is unknown pretty much. You don't hear a lot of people talking about them, man. Yeah. And they don't sell out immediately. But what I love, they have this 999 series where they make that many copies of games pretty much, and you know, once they sell out, they're out, they're done. It's like a cool series of retro games they put out, you know, and I just think they have a lot of potential, you know, and I've seen it, and it's crazy that a lot of people aren't talking about them. I love the stuff they put out. They seem very selective. I mean, not too selective. I mean, the beginning days, I mean, I feel like they were just grabbing stuff just to put out, but as time went on, they've gotten a lot of better with their title. And then my third one would probably be, man, I would say possibly. See, it always goes back and forth, man. I would say Strictly Limited, but sometimes how long it takes to get your stuff, it's like, damn, dude, like I gotta have you up on this list. You know, you're taking so long. It would be between them and probably, I would say First Press Games, but I'm gonna go ahead and choose Strictly Limited. You know, Strictly Limited has been really cool. They've tried to put out titles that have never been released before, and I'll give you an example. That game, what's it called? Clockwork Aquio.
Yeah,
that game was an arcade game. Yeah, that was an arcade game that was never released, and Strictly Limited got with the publishers of it, the creator. They finished the game up and released it as their own. So that game was pretty much released because of them. So that's awesome that they're doing that. Another game they released that hadn't been officially released was Hardcore. Then that's what it was called. It was like a I don't want to say it's a spiritual successor to Turrican, but it was another game that hadn't been officially released. So, you know, they're trying to put out titles like that. So that's impressive, you know. Yeah. So definitely I would say they're my number three. I feel like people who watch this video, I mean, I feel like their number one is probably going to be Limited Run. I mean, Limited Run was pretty much, I mean, I got to give it up to them, man. They didn't start out trying to be a limited run company, but it really took off, you know, for them, you know, because I heard they were struggling in the beginning. I heard when they were trying to sell their games a certain way, and once they started making it limited, people started hopping on it, and it just kind of took off. So, you know, good on them for that.
You know, I think Limited Run, you said it correctly. They got on the hype train of making games numbered, and then you know, if you want a full set, you couldn't miss a release, right? You know, because you missed the release is gone, and now you have a certain game out of that set of games that you're not going to get. And then I also think they got on, and I was talking to one of my buddies about this. They got on the Pokemon card hype train because they started bringing those limited edition cards with the releases of their games. So people who had that mindset of, oh, I gotta collect them all, like Pokemon, right? The same thing with the cards, because they were like, oh, if you look at, you know, something on eBay, or if they're looking at on a shop where they're buying it second hand, right? They're like, do you got the card? If you don't have the card, I don't want it. It's about the game. It ain't
that's how they were. That was how it was, man. Wow.
Dude, if you don't have that card that came with it, you don't have a full package, they don't want it. What is the card doing for you? So yeah, Limited Run has they took it and ran with it when it came.
They did, man. Those people who want the item like that, man, they're looking at the value of it in the future so they can resell it properly. Yeah. That's what it is. It's the value, because Kag said it. I mean, you said it the best, man. You know, whether you like it or not, man, buying a game is an investment, because the way games are now, you know, especially limited printed games, there has a possibility of going up in value. You know, it's over 50%. It'll go up in value, you know, depending if it's not a AAA title or not. So that's probably why they want to have that card with it.
I know, I have, me personally, you know, they don't know me, so they ain't gonna listen to what I got to say. But there are 2 games that I would love for a limited print company to do. You know, and they're not going to touch these games. But first is Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I would love them. I love Mortal Kombat Trilogy because that's the one that had
which version?
PS1 characters in it, or is that anthology? Anthology. It had every Mortal Kombat character in it. You could. This is the first time you could play as Kentaro.
No, that's trilogy. You were right. That's trilogy. But which version? The N64 version, PS1, or Saturn version?
So I personally, I gritted my teeth on the PS1 version.
Okay.
I didn't play the N64 version at all.
That controller would have been like crazy to play with.
So I didn't play that one at all. And I didn't play the Saturn one until like way past the Saturn's heyday. You know, so I graded mine on the PS1. So if they brought it out, I would love to see them bring it out on PS4, PS5, a special edition. You know,
no Shang Tsung load times.
No, no Shang Tsung load times. Get rid of that. At least update that, man.
Yeah.
And you know, with that special edition, you know, go to some of the old school characters that help make the game. Get some signature art cards in there, you know, from the making of the game and stuff like that. Would love to get a poster like they got with your King of Fighters, you know.
Yeah.
So that's one. No, they're probably not going to touch it, but that's a dream for me, man. Like that would just be absolutely amazing. And then it could come with like, I don't know, like maybe a Sub-Zero Scorpion, a reptile mask, or some busk or whatever. It would be dope.
Okay.
And then the second one is I want NBA Jams Tournament Edition. I want a limited run of that. And what I would like them to do with that is bring out like a steel book with signatures from NBA players of heyday, like a Patrick Ewing signature on there, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, something like that, something they can get that nobody's had, because no game has had those signatures on it. And then package it, the special edition, like the more expensive one, package it inside of a NBA Jams arcade mini unit. It comes in there, you can open up and pull the games out, pull the art cards out of there. And
okay.
Stuff like that.
I'll give you something. I'll give you something a little bit better, man. They should release the NBA Jam version that has Michael Jordan in it. There's only 4 arcade cabinets that have that. You know, Jordan owns one. I think Gary Payton might own one.
Yeah,
and 2 others I can't remember, but if they released that would be a big deal. They got that.
And I think it would be. You're right. It might be easier for them to get it now, because you remember when Jordan back in the day, he owned the rights to his name. He wasn't a part of the Players Association, so they couldn't put him in games without paying him a boatload of money.
Smart.
And the only game that he had was that Michael Jordan Chicago, and that was Chicago Windy City.
City, yeah,
that was garbage. And I have a physical copy of that game.
You do?
Yes, I have a physical copy of that game. It's such a bad game. But yeah, I think they could do that. Would, man, you know, there's Jordan fans. Everybody considers him the GOAT, you know. So okay. They would love to do that.
But I got to ask you again. So with your top 3, man, you're sticking with those top 3?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely sticking with those top 3. Because they make stuff that I want, you know. They don't cater to like the masses as far as like what everybody wants. You know, they have their own little, you know, niche audience, and they know what to make. You know, I think like with companies like Limited Run, they get so big, they just do all of this stuff. And I look at some of their games and I'm just like, why did you make it? Who wants that physical? You know, there's some people that want it, but I think the majority of people that want it are the people that are trying to complete that collection of the whole set of physical games from Limited Run.
And also too, the numbered thing kind of hooks a lot of people.
Yep. Because I mean I have it got me because I have the Neo Geo set, and it's 1 through 15, and I got all of them because it was numbered 1 through 15. And I didn't want to have it sitting on my shelf, and it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then jumps to 7, 8, 9. And like, where's the other ones at? You know, so they get you on that, man. It's kind of like, you know, the whole thing where you gotta be the in crowd. You know, you gotta keep up with the Joneses, right? I gotta have it all.